Hello, good day, people. I'm gonna be your instructor in economics. Basically, I'm gonna be your economics instructor, and in this discussion, we're gonna be talking about, the definition of economics. All right, and when we talk about definition of economics, we would all recall, in our previous, learnings and in our previous study that we have a very popular man, a very great economist, talking about Adam Smith. He's often regarded as the father of economics. You would agree with me? And when we talk about Adam Smith, in his own definition, defined economics using wealth concept. That is, the concept of wealth was employed by him. You understand, in his definition, and he defined economics as an inquiry into nature and causes of wealth among nations. If we're gonna look, critically at a summary, in a summary way into the definition he has given to us, all right, because nobody would want to come up with a textbook or with a teaching or with a discussion on economics that won't talk about Adam Smith's definition. All right, in his own definition, he tend to ask people, or kind of make a kind of a very affirmative suggestion, in terms of, defining economics as a subject that, takes a probe into the existence of nature or the existence of supernatural things. You understand? So when we talk about, a probe into the existence of nature, we're talking about a probe into the existence of things that, existed without, man, or without a man's interference. You understand? And the causes of wealth among nations. Now, the causes there means what are the things that are needed to be done, or what are the things that are being done that energizes or that enables man to get wealth, or that enriches the pockets of man. You understand? That's his own definition. I'm talking about another definition that has become very popular today in the world. We talk about the definition propounded by Professor Lionel Robbins, who defined economics using the concept of scarcity and choice. In his own definition, he defined economics as a social science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. You'll agree with me that that definition has some key terms in them. Alright? It has some key terms in it, rather. Alright? There are major 5 key terms in Professor Lionel Robbins' definition. You understand? The first one that we're going to discuss about is a phrasal term. Alright? That is, we have more than a word. If you talk about a phrase, you talk about more than a word. Those of us who are English students who are inclined in the use of English, you would agree with me. Now, the first one is that it's very visible in its definition. It's social science. That's a phrasal term. Alright? Then the second one is ends. That's a single term. Alright? Ends. Then the third one is scarce means. Alright? Then the fourth one is human behavior. Alright? Then the fifth one, of course, is alternative uses. That's another phrasal term. Talking about the 5, individually, we're going to talk about the social science. Alright? When we say social science, we mean, a type of science that studies animate objects, that concerns animate objects, that concerns human behavior, that concerns human activities. You understand? As a relationship to their society, as a relationship to, what existed around them, or what exists around them. You understand? Unlike the pure sciences, an example, we have the physics, we have the chemistry. You understand? So physics and chemistry are example, or are pure examples of pure sciences, and they concern inanimate objects. That is, their own province, their own kind of, concentration, area of concentration is, the study of inanimate objects. You understand? We have social sciences, of course, the one we are discussing about. We have economics, the subject matter. Then we have courses like sociology. All right. Of course, those of us who are sociologists, we know what we mean by sociology. You know, the social science that concerns the study of our immediate environment, the study of how we relate to our environment. And of course, we have political science as another example. All right. When we talk about political science, of course, you talk about power, you talk about wealth, you talk about, authority, you talk about, what of you talk about, power, how power is being, shared, and how authority is being executed. You understand? So, of course, we gonna be talking about ends. When we say ends, or when an economist say ends simply means wants, all right, or simply desires. And of course, we're going to talk about scarce means. And when economists say scarce means, it means limited resources. Scarce there talks about limitation, while means talk about resources. All right. So scarce means there means limited resources. That is, human wants are numerous. Human wants are what? Insatiable. That is, they are very, very many. But the resources to meet all those wants are limited in supply. You understand? Are limited in terms of availability. You understand? So the next one we're going to talk about, of course, is what we call human behavior. When we say human behavior, we're talking about human characters. We talk about human reactions. We talk about how human beings, you and I, all right, react, to the events that occurs in our society. Talking about the events, we're talking about how we, relate our actions to the livelihood. All right, to our livelihood. You understand? We cannot talk about livelihood without talking about three basic fundamental wants of man, or fundamental needs of man. You understand? Talking about the food, talking about clothing, of course, and talking about shelter. You understand? We cannot move away from the three basic needs of man. All right. So these three basic needs of man are very, very important, are very, very salient wants of man. All right. We all need them. And of course, there is a distinction between wants and needs. Maybe in further discussion, we're going to be talking extensively, on the distinction between wants and needs. Because, some textbooks and some teachers, fail to, fundamentally or critically analyze the distinction between the two words, between the two terms. You understand? So you get to know that very soon. Then we're going to be talking about alternative uses. Of course, when we talk about alternative uses as another phrase all time in Professor Lionel Robbins' definition, looking about various options that are opened, options that you could resort or you could resort to. You understand? So as to accomplish your desire or your alternative desire. If you want to know more about our teaching, of course, I am the CEO and a teacher at Exceptional Achievers Academy. I instruct my students in economics. All right. So if you want to know more, you can contact us at number 24 Olaiwola Street, New Okoba, Agege in Lagos State, Nigeria. All right. Exceptional Achievers Academy is well known in that area. So basically, you can, of course, reach us via any of these numbers: +234 80 32 14 8670, or +234 80 54 74 6211, or you can perhaps visit our website. You understand? Basically, I would want to give you our online test practice website. It's a website that is uniquely produced, all right, or that is uniquely created for the purpose of complementing, the efforts of the materials that are available at your disposal, at the disposal of learners. You understand? That site is a site where you can go, maybe after reading, go test yourself on what you have read. All right. So the site is www.eaaonlinetest.com. nad24.com. All right, when you get to the site, you'll be amazed. You understand? Basically, you will have a free platform where you can test freely on basic. You log in using a username basic and using a password 1234. That's all. Then you start getting yourself tested. It's all free. So you can go to the site now and please tell your friends. I, as the CEO and economics teacher at Exceptional Achievers Academy, say to you that I love you and that I care. We want you to succeed in your education. We want you to succeed in your endeavor. We want you to succeed in every sphere of your life. Thank you and God bless. Bye.